What is Gucci YouTube? It's your boy Black with y'all, 3 long face skinny body, and we are back, of course, still black with some more fire Boruto manga related content. Now, before we get into the video, on your little dealio, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, share the video with your friends, and let's hop to the business. Yes, sir. Ski.
9 mountains and 8 seas make one world. 1,000 worlds make one chiliocosm. 1 chiliocosm to the power of 3, and there's nothing I can't cut.
After 2 long years, 2 exciting years, 2 fast-paced, action-paced, plot-driven, thrilling years, we finally not only got an appearance, but official dialogue from my guy MoMoshiki Otsutsuki. And the biggest curveball is just another reminder of Ikimoto and his famous curveballs that really just throws the entire fandom for a loop. A lot of people would suggest Momoshiki's return. A lot of people suggest Momoshiki's silence. A lot of people suggest Momoshiki's rampage. A lot of people suggest Boruto's overcoming of Momoshiki. But nobody, and I mean nobody, ever within my eyesight, line of view, community, timeline, thread, whatever the hell you want to call it, suggested, thought about, theorized, or brought up the idea that Momoshiki himself would be simply depressed and longing for his long 1,000-span-year life to finally come to an end with the official death of this guy Boruto. He just simply wants to pass on into the light. You see the light opening and shining through the clouds in the sky. That's where Momoshiki's trying to go. Albeit whether it's heaven or hell, that's up for whoever is his god. But Momoshiki wants it all to end, and he wants it all to end very soon. So when you really look at the events of Boruto 2 Vortex Chapter 25, nothing too crazy, right? But up until everything prior to that chapter, we look at everything that's happening from Boruto getting shot by Jura, right? Boruto popping up on Code, Boruto and Sasuke in the flashback fighting against Code, Boruto's karma seal supposedly acting up when Kawaki and him come face to face back in the village. A lot of these times, and then most infamously, right, back in Boruto chapter 22 and 23, where we see Boruto is making his efforts, right? And then 24, right, we're like, okay, there's really no way out of this. Momoshiki has to pop up, or Jura has to come up with another ass-poor reason as to why he's not going to kill Boruto. And that was the time for, okay, Momoshiki's about to snap. He's about to take advantage. Boruto's going to be low on chakra, right? Why didn't he take control of Boruto before in the previous times where we've seen him run out of chakra or be low on strength within the story? Well, it's simply because Momoshiki was really crossing his fingers and closing his eyes, praying like Boruto was about to die. And every single time Boruto was slipping on Dev's door, he managed to escape, right? So we got Kawaki, we got Kashin Koji, basically giving out mad size of release throughout the 24 chapters. And Momoshiki, on the other hand, is just giving mad darn it and knee slaps like, not again, like maybe next time we're going to get him, right? And then what's even more crazy is that Boruto actually decided to take the initiative to make an appearance and to go into the plane and speak to Momoshiki himself. Now, prior to this, Boruto explained to Kawaki, Momoshiki's been silent for the last few years, right? You would think, like, what do you mean by that? You've been trying to hear something from him. You've been trying to reach out. You've been trying to figure out at least what's going on, but there's just been no sign of communication or no sign of contact. But more so on the fact that Momoshiki is just simply not nagging him. Every time Boruto was able to check, he's possibly able to sense him right there in that little psyche plane, just see him just over there sulking, looking into the sky, wondering what Kenshiki is doing and how Kaguya and Ishiki are living out there in the beyond wonder cosmos, right? He's out here really just lonely and extremely depressed. And I will say this for a fact, I think it does even more for the character than to see him come back on a rampage, right? Because now that this deal that we see Boruto propose at the end of Boruto chapter 25, it's really going to go one of two ways, right? Because of solely the position that Momoshiki's in, he's desperate and he's officially lost all hope. Like, what do you do when you give the man who has nothing to lose the opportunity of a lifetime? He either doubles down on the fact that he has nothing to lose, or he simply gives in to all despair and loses all hope, meaning he takes advantage of the opportunity and ends it all right there. And I kind of brought up the suggestion, right, within the chapter review, within previous videos. Momoshiki might take the offer And second, he gets control of Boruto's body. Boom, he tries to go for the kill. He simply tries to off himself because he realizes at this point, regardless of how he may think he slips ahead of Boruto, based off of his previous experience within the last 3 years, Boruto somehow manages to always have things work out for him. So the best way and the most for sure way is to not take any chances and simply end both of their lives right then and there. Now, he can go for a kill for the physical body. It does seem pretty dark, but we've seen Boruto himself attempt it, right, when Ishiki prevented him from killing himself. So it's not far-fetched to believe, especially seeing how depressed and lonely Momoshiki has been, that the minute he gets control of Boruto's body, he simply just goes for the kill and tries to off both of them right then and there. But then also, the other side of the coin, right? You give a man who simply has lost everything, has nothing to lose, the opportunity of a lifetime. If he decides not to take that opportunity to end it all, he might just take that opportunity and just say, fuck it, balls to the wall, right? At this point, regardless of whatever deal they made, Momoshiki ensures like this time, I have to make sure everything goes according to plan. Ain't no, I'm gonna do certain things because I know eventually Boruto will get control back. No, the second Momoshiki gets control, right? The second they're able to get Jura under control, he might kidnap Jura. He might induct his own type of plan to ensure a chakra fruit is being born. He might go about his own type of way or means to ensure Kabuki is permanently taken out of the picture. There's so many different things Momoshiki can do, causing an alliance with Code, causing an alliance with the Shinju, right? Like I said, feeding Kabuki to Jura, beating Jura halfway to death, somehow reverting Jura back into a rampaging beast state. There's so many different possibilities that we can simply go. But it's very interesting. And I think the most beautiful moment, the most beautiful thing about it all is Momoshiki's current mindset, because it really leaves us to question, well, what would you do with a deal like this? Would he even take the deal, right? We got two ways to go if he decides to take the deal, but does he even take the deal? Does he simply let it just rot out and he says, no, I think my chances are better if I just simply wait it out and let you die? Because that's what he got his fingers crossed for right now. I do think it's an interesting take and it's an interesting route that Ikimoto decided to take with this guy Momoshiki. I did not see it coming from a mile away, but I think it even makes the character that much better. As I previously stated, it adds more depth to the character. It adds a more of a humane touch. But I would like to say, because I've said this time and time again, within Otsutsuki time span, within the Otsutsuki like span of years, I think Momoshiki is probably like a late teen. He's entering his 20s. When we saw him, he was maybe like 15, 16 years old in terms of Otsutsuki years. So maybe he was like 1,500 years old, 1,600 years old. He lived just over 1,000 years, where like the average adult in the Otsutsuki clan lives to 2,000 to 3,000 years. I get that kind of vibe from, not only we understand he's elegant, right? He seems like he knows a lot, but he's very cocky and snarty, and he kind of seems bratty if you really dig deep and look at some of the certain moments that he not only snaps, but also lets his true personality leak out when he's not being calm, poised, and collected. So I really think within Otsutsuki years to human years, Momoshiki is probably in his early 20s. Maybe he's a couple years older than Boruto or around the same age as Kawaki, because he's giving off those vibes, right? Otsutsuki, he lived thousands of years, just spending 3 years trapped in loneliness and despair. I don't think that should necessarily be enough to completely take all hope out of you. But for someone as cocky and snarty and bratty and entitled as Momoshiki, it kind of makes sense, especially if you take into account, well, maybe his mindset isn't wired as like a full-grown adult Otsutsuki, which is why we're getting such like crazy and, you know, bipolar moments from Momoshiki. Sometimes he's popping up, he's rampaging. Sometimes he's popping up, he's cool. Sometimes he's popping up, he's offering help. Sometimes he's popping up, he's offering information. It's really just like a go with the flow kind of guy, but at the end of the day, it's still all for his own personal gain and interest. Regardless of all of that though, Ikimoto had brought back the GOAT, Big Momoshiki Otsutsuki. He brought back him in a way, he brought him back in a way that none of us actually would have expected it to go down, but also allows more insight and allows more opportunities for us to assume or to guess how, you know, things are going to be progressing forward with these two characters in both Boruto and Momoshiki, right? Borushiki coming back in this current form, I believe Momoshiki at least has to take that into account. Like, how strong Boruto himself has gotten over these past few years. If he was to get control and gain that body's power, how much more unstoppable would Momoshiki himself be, right? Does Boruto's actual plan to, you know, somehow allow Momoshiki to either borrow his power or either, you know, take over his body to defeat Juro, will it actually work and come into fruition with Kawaki being the one to defeat Boruto and ultimately killing Momoshiki so out of this soul or out of this plan? Or does Boruto have something up his sleeve where it's like, bro, I'm making this deal and everybody might think I'm planning to die or I'm planning to, use your power to kill Jura and then have Kawaki kill us. But maybe Boruto wants to test the theory, right? And it can't be tested unless he actually gets his hands dirty. So he has no choice but to actually interact and try to contact and communicate with Momoshiki. But maybe he has a theory and he wants to test it out in terms of being able to separate Momoshiki's soul from his power, where Boruto is able to simply control the power of Momoshiki without having any drawbacks or worries about Momoshiki's soul being, overcome and Boruto's consciousness fading into existence, right? So maybe there's a different way around it. Maybe it's a different angle, and it's more so on Boruto's side as opposed to Momoshiki. Not more so will Momoshiki answer, or what will his answer be, or how will he decide to use the opportunity in Boruto's body, but more so of what will Boruto try once he gains access to Momoshiki's power, or once Momoshiki tries to use his body in order to take down Jura? Is there something else behind, the contingency plan, or does it simply lie on the fact that once we get this done, I'm betting on any and everything that Kawaki will have enough power to defeat me, or with the help of Boruto hindering Momoshiki inside of their psyche plane, then in a way, like simultaneously, both Boruto and Kawaki will be able to take down Momoshiki together. It's still a lot of interesting ways they can go about it, but overall, my guy wants Boroshiki. He wants Boruto to die. And I didn't think that would be probably one of the best ways you can bring back the character. Simply sad, depressed, and lonely. But hey, a sad, depressed, and lonely Momoshiki is something that, hey, the fandom is hyped about. So you know how y'all feel about it. What are your thoughts and how they can possibly move and push forward going with this deal between Momoshiki and Boruto? How do y'all think it'll go? Momoshiki lending the power, Momoshiki getting control of the body, right? Will it be Borushiki and Kawaki versus Jura? Will it be Boruto who's controlling the karma and Momoshiki's power in Kawaki versus Jura, right? Does Boruto have a plan to backdoor Momoshiki, or is he solely betting on the fact that Kawaki may be enough to defeat him once they together use their power to defeat Jura? How do y'all think it'll play out? It's your boy Black Shout, 3 long face skinny body. Until my next video, holla at your boy, I'ma holla at y'all, Black Shout. Yes, sir. Ski.